Anya and Miles, the two of you look fantastic today. And
Thank
congratulations.
you.
So do you.
Yes, well, this is Dior, girlfriend, so.
There we go. There we go.
Congratulations on this film. This is one of the best romances of the year, okay? I was, as much as I loved the action and how so in sync you guys were with the stunt choreography, I really loved the romance, especially between Drasa and Levi dancing. Take me back to set that day. I just spoke with Scott about that scene, but it seems like it was just a lot of choreography. And of course, Anya, I love seeing you dance on screen again, and you too, Miles.
I mean, I remember our first rehearsal for that, and it was pretty immediate. Like, we were just like, oh, this is gonna work. Like, this is gonna be good.
I didn't even think we needed rehearsal or choreography. I was like, look, Anya, I know you were a classically trained ballet dancer, but
He's got the vibes,
and we will just make this
He's
thing
just
work.
like, yeah. The thing that was most complicated about that, actually, I think we got 99% of that dance sequence immediately, and then we had this one move that we were trying to do with the camera, which is, I don't know if you remember, where it sort of
rotates,
twists
it's like
around
a Dutch
like
angle
that.
thing when we're...
I loved it.
And for our like intensely high-tech movie, we didn't have Wi-Fi on the soundstage, and that is what is required for the camera to do that. So we must have done that transition honestly like 100 times. We just kept going and going and going. So that took a long time, but then we got it and it was good.
Well, I love that. And I also love how they had to be so creative on their dates, you know, making snowmen and of course playing the drums. Miles, was that your idea? Because I freaked out seeing you play the drums again.
No, it wasn't. And even with Anya with the chest, that was in the script from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Before we even either of us signed on to the project, that was in there. We tried to cut it.
We tried to get it taken out.
Yeah.
But we were overruled.
Yes.
And we're grateful now because you enjoyed it. So that's great.
I was loving the chest, the snowman, and the drums. I was all here for it.
Good.
Well, also another one of my favorite scenes is the church scene. And Anya, I love how you put your hand on Miles's shoulder and you kind of like use each other to defend each other. I thought that was so cool.
She was using me as a human shield.
That's why I was obsessed.
Take him.
Yes.
I don't want to die. No, I think that was actually really wonderful in terms of the action in general, because Miles and I were trained separately in 2 different techniques when it comes to this kind of behavior. And when they put us both together, we were like, okay, this is how we can work in tandem and come together to overrule the enemy in that instance. But it was always, it's just an extra added thing that you can hold on to in doing these action sequences, because you know that you're not only trying to protect yourself, you're trying to protect the person that's most important to you in the world. And so you have that emotional gravitas to all of it.
I also loved in the film when Drasa asked Levi, what do you do when you feel sad or overwhelmed? And Levi turns to poetry, which was so unexpected for him, but I loved that. So I'm curious what the two of you do when you need kind of like that comfort day. For me, it's snuggling with my fur babies and honestly watching movies. Miles, what do you and Kelly like to do?
They're different. They're different.
Okay, well, Miles, I want to hear then what do you like to do?
I know Kelly.
I really enjoy, I think because we're so many different people in their professions, everything's just always on a schedule. And so when I have just moments of free thinking, I put a lot of emphasis on that. It gives you time for reflection and just space. You need space to really kind of go through things internally. I'm a fairly internal person. And then also music. For me, lately, it's been piano. Piano's more kind of with composing and melodies. If I have some anger, I'll bang a drum. But for the most part, I like putting feeling into an instrument.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. They are wrapping me, but Anya, what do you love to do?
I do my best thinking in a bath. Like, I will get in the bath and I'm just like, yeah. Honestly, like to the point where if someone needs an answer from me, I'll be like, give me an hour and I will come back to you on this.
I hate baths.
They're the best. Yes. Oh, I love them.
I love that. Well, they are giving me the wrap. It was so fun to chat with you. Anya, I have to say The Northman is a masterpiece, and I would love for you to work with Robert again. And Miles, The Spectacular Now is one of the first films I ever reviewed, and still one of my favorite performances of yours today.
Oh, thank you so much. I got a lot of love for Sutter.
Oh, yeah, he's so wonderful. I love the two of you. Bye.
Thank you.
Good to see
Bye.
you. Bye. A huge fan of your work, and I have to say, this is already going to be one of my favorite romance films of the year. I was shipping Drasa and Levi so much, and I loved the action in the film, but I also loved the romance element, especially in the scene where they're dancing. Take me back to Set That Day with Anya and Miles, because I loved how you filmed that whole entire sequence.
Yeah, in the script, it was only a couple of lines that they danced a little bit, and I made the decision to make it into a full scene. And I just thought, it's been a long time since I've seen a real dance scene in a movie that was realistic. And we found the right song, and I had this amazing choreographer, and we just worked it all out. And on set, they were really great together. And I knew that I also made that decision because I knew that they were both good dancers. So I knew they would be able to deliver on that scene.
I don't want to give any spoilers here, but I love that you always have some sort of like home video, like in Sinister with Ethan Hawke watching the home videos. Are you shooting that on film? Is that just like an important aspect for you as a filmmaker to have kind of different aspect ratios and filmmaking styles in your horror films?
Yeah, I'm really interested in that. 16 millimeter and Super 8 film is incredibly exciting to me as a medium. And especially, when you're mixing that up with digital photography, the contrast between them is very striking and it becomes a part of the film language for that particular story or that particular film. So it's something I just finished shooting Black Phone 2. I do a lot of it in that movie. I really like it. I really like doing that. I think it's interesting and unique.
So Black Phone was in my top 10 films when it came out. I am so excited for Black Phone 2. Can you say, and I know you just finished wrapping it, can you say anything, any type of detail about what fans can expect?
Well, not a lot, but what I can say is that, I didn't feel obliged to make a sequel. I didn't feel like I had to. Yeah. And the reason I did it was because I realized if I make a big movie in between Black Phone and Black Phone 2, then the kids will be in high school. And then I can make a high school coming of age movie in the same way that the first movie was a middle school coming of age movie, because all the kids are in high school now. And that's exactly what we just shot.
That's so cool. I also loved in this film how Drasa and Levi, Anya, and Miles are so in sync with each other. Her hand on her shoulder and she's moving. The choreography was amazing. What type of training did they have to do in all of that?
So much training. They were very dedicated. They worked all the time. And they were very committed. We were all very committed to it being realistic. They reload when you have to reload. We counted the bullets for each scene, so that they would instinctively know when they had to reload. But yeah, I love what you're mentioning about the way that they cover each other and sort of work as a team. I thought that was the way to sustain the romance from the first part of the movie. I thought that was some of the most. Her putting her hand on his shoulder in the church scene that you're referencing was one of my favorite romantic beats in the movie. And she just did that, by the way. That wasn't something I told her to do. She was always surprising me with choices like that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy that wasn't even choreographed. Yeah, that easily is one of the best scenes in the film. Well, last question for you, Scott. I love the mention in this film how Levi says that poetry is what helps him overcome sadness and overwhelmed. She asks him, what do you do when you feel sad and overwhelmed? He says, I like to try to write poetry. So I'm curious what you and your wife like to do what do you guys like to do to kind of, if you're feeling overwhelmed or just having like a comfort day?
It's funny. I left Twitter, but I'm on Blue Sky now. And just last night, I just posted a statement that said, for as long as I can remember, movies have always been the antidote. So we watch movies. I watch a lot of movies, and I love making movies, but watching them is even more important to me.
Yeah, no, I love that you're a cinephile as well. Well, they are giving me the wrap, Scott. I'm so excited for audiences to see The Gorge. I'm giving it a rave review, and I am so excited for the Black Phone 2 when it comes out later this year. Hope to
thank you so much.
that as well.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes.